Hello, I'm the Atomic Hobbit, and I like movies, and today I am going to talk about Noah. No movie has surprised me this much in a while. I will admit, when I first saw the trailer, I thought it was the stupidest thing ever. But I watched it with low expectations, and it blew me away, or more of those expectations away. Now, for the record, this does not mean this movie is perfect. It is nowhere near that. And especially because the movie I saw before that was Grand Budapest Hotel. It's not as good as Grand Budapest Hotel, but it is a lot better than I thought it would be. I was expecting a preachy, pious pile of pus, but I got something a lot different than what I was expecting. Now, this movie is by no means great, but it's good. Now, for those who don't know the Noah story, wow. Where do you live? Now, if you haven't heard this tale, I'm going to put it in a nutshell. Noah is a guy that God chooses to build an ark because humanity is being a bunch of jerks and he's going to go flood the world and no one wants to fill this ark with his family and all the other animals. So, there. I got through the Noah story. If you don't know it, wow. Again. Anyway, on with the review. There are some significant problems, but they all stem from the story, so we're going to talk about that later. Now, for the record, overall, the casting, effects, cinematography, and editing are solid. If anything, they are great. Production design is amazing. It looks beautiful. The pre-flood world is very interesting. It's very different from what we're used to, and it's like this. It's very hard to describe, but it is its own unique aesthetic. An aesthetic that it just looks amazing. Amazing, to quote Liz from Kroll Show. Now, let's go on to the first major nugget that I want to get into with this movie. To put it lightly, director Darren Aronofsky has made some changes with the source material. Now, to be fair, the source material, which is, the Bible, Torah, Quran, or whatever text has the Noah story in it that you choose, it's kind of vague. And, there's a lot of, holes and whatnot in the biblical texts, primarily logistical questions and whatnot. And, over the years, many a scholar has attempted to figure them out. And because of that, Darren Aronofsky has been able to make his own vision of what this movie is. And again, this is a vision, an interpretation, not like what the good book says. No, this is an interpretation. For instance, this movie has rock monsters. And not the kind like in Apollo 18. Those were lame. Those had no explained rules. No, these are awesome rock monsters. But yeah. And also the movie does provide more information about this world, the people, the pre-flood world, and why exactly God feels the need to destroy them. And namely because they engage in every act of depravity that can be shown in a PG-13 movie, which means that there's a lot of violent and no major sexual content, although it is repeatedly implied at. Now, the element that is kind of left up to debate with the texts in regards to the Noah story is, the repopulation of Earth, because in the text, there was only, the only woman was Noah's wife, and so they go way out of their way to try to provide an explanation that does not involve incest. But it does slow the movie considerably down, and it just drags. Also, the movie just has some pacing issues. It is very well paced until they get on the Ark, and then after a while, you start to feel like they're spending too much time on that darn boat. Also, it does pull a Return of the King ending. That means, for those who are not sure what that exactly means, it means that technically the movie should be over, yet for some reason it's still going. And going. And going. And going. And going. And going. Until you go freaking insane! So yeah, pacing problems with this sucker. And another problem with this movie is the characters. Now, there are only really two which are really problematic. First is Ham. Now, in the text, the only thing he really did wrong was, watch his naked, drunk dad. But this movie kind of makes us all tempted by evil and all of that, and it drags the movie. It makes it keep going! And, it really gets annoying as heck. And, every single time it would get to a scene with Ham, I'd go look at this watch. And, that's never a good sign in a movie. The other is Noah. And first off, I'm sorry you guys, Russell Crowe does sing. Now, I know this is going with Aronofsky's vision of a very dark character with survival guilt and all that. But, and also, the idea he was a zealot. But let's just say the lengths that he goes are a little bit too much. I won't give anything away, but I will say that not many zealots go the lengths that he goes. And although it does provide, a reason why Noah, begins boozing up immediately after he gets off the Ark. Aside from my personal opinion, which was if you're stuck on a boat with everybody that your family, the people that annoy you the most, of course you're going to start boozing it up. But now they have actually a lot better, more reasonable statement than my kind of cynical one. But anyway, still, Russell Crowe does a good performance. Not as good as Beautiful Mind, but still pretty good, pretty solid overall. And now I must address something that I feel will be important to those who want to take people, children, to see this movie. Do not bring small children. I know a lot of little kids like the story of Noah's Ark because, you get all the cute little animals and all that. No, this is not the preschool Noah's Ark. There is some pretty nasty violence. And, there's, this, scene where, they're on the Ark, and the flood's going on, and, people are, screaming and drowning, and, you're just hearing it, they're all just listening, and people are screaming and begging, because they're dying, and it's just... So, yeah, don't bring the kids. Also, this is not Passion of the Christ or, a pious religious film. For those who are of the Answers in Genesis, Young Earth, creationist crowd, you're not going to like it. There are no dinosaurs on the Ark, so, and also the film, and probably the best sequence of the movie, it shows a view of a what is referred to as evolutionary creation view of the creation story, which is the best sequence of the movie overall. Like, it's incredible. But, you know, it's not your standard Bible movie. And also, after hearing that Paramount had made numerous cuts to try to appease the religious demographic, and then they just went with the original cut, I'm glad they did, because, like, it's an interpretation, again. And also that the cut that Aronofsky made got very good reception from the people who watched it, who claim to be religious or very religious. And I feel, you know, this movie is like, it's an updating of the story. It's an updating. It's an interpretation. The original text, if you want to go with any other view of this story, you can. Just because someone made a movie out of it does not mean it's set in stone. Which, like, I guess some people tend to forget. Yeah. Overall, I recommend this movie. It is an interesting take on the classic tale, and it is enjoyable at multiple levels. If you're watching it as like an artiste looking for metaphorical meanings, or religious looking for symbolism and all that, or just a casual viewer, it's a good movie. Pure and simple, it's a good movie. And like, in these days with like really big turd balls, a good movie is always enjoyed. I'm the Atomic Hobbit, and I like movies. I'm the Atomic Hobbit. Thanks for watching this movie. If you want to see more, please subscribe. Otherwise, you know, too bad, I'm making more. Kudos to the, last time I checked, still 7 subscribers. You guys are awesome. And like this video, comment, and I guess somehow that, like, helps, I guess. But either way, thanks for watching, and I know next review is going to be Divergent. But see you next time.